Good morning, gorgeous ones. It's 8:00 something. Dr. Lucy here. I am just getting up now from... Oh, I'm going to share this. A little button's come up. I've just got out of bed this morning. I'm having my beautiful warm cup of coffee to start my day. And this week we are talking about emotional eating on our 8 a.m. lives. So as a reminder, every day, 8 a.m., either Dr. Mary or myself are giving you just a little tidbit to start your day and something, I guess, just to think about and mull over. So this week has been emotional eating. Emotional eating is any non-hungry eating. So one of the things that is really important is to be aware of our language around food. So we have been conditioned over years and years to look at food as things that are other than fuel and nourishment. And that's okay, except the problem being that we use food more than we can expend the energy that we take in with it, if that makes sense. So I've got a few things that are on my hit list, if you like, things that I no longer use, phrases that I used to use all the time. So one of my phrases that I no longer use is comfort food. Okay, so winter coming along, everyone talks about comfort food. Oh, it's winter, we're going to have comfort food. And that comfort food is usually the idea of, a casserole, a stew, a curry, or a warm pudding, apple crumble, those sorts of things people associate with winter and comfort. Now, the thing is that we're not like bears that hibernate. So bears and all of those hibernating animals need to eat a whole pile of food first so that they have enough fuel for the winter while they have a sleep. But we don't do that. And in fact, in winter, we actually don't even need extra fuel because we now all live in comfortable environments with heating, we've got clothes, so we don't actually need the extra fuel. So the first thing to think about is that winter does not require us to have extra food or fuel. Now, the second thing is that comfort food, think about it. That's where people go, I'm a comfort eater. Separate those two words out, comfort and food. We need to learn to be uncomfortable, and we need to learn other strategies to manage that feeling of being uncomfortable rather than food. Because at the end of the day, we know that food is fuel and nourishment, and when we eat more than our requirements, that's when we, insulin goes up and we turn into fat storing machines. So the thing that comes with comfort food is comfort eating, and that becomes part of people's identity. The second thing I'd like to just bring to your attention is treat. The word treat. We use that word all the time to describe some usually sugary food. It's going to be a treat. Okay, I'm just having it for a treat. We're going to have some treat food. What food are my kids having in their lunch for their treat? Now, look, there's no judgment here, okay? This is all just techniques about ways to untangle yourself from emotional eating. So please, I want you to be mindful that this is not judgment. These are techniques. If we separate that concept out and decide that actually food is not a treat, that's the first step. So when we come up with this idea that actually I don't need to use food as a treat. So a couple of ways I have talked to myself about this. So remember, one of my big concepts is that we often sacrifice our body to appease our mind. Now, our body doesn't want sugary processed food. It really doesn't. It's not good for it. It's not helpful. It's inflammatory. There's all these things that I'm sure you know. But our brain goes, ooh, sugar, yay, because it releases dopamine. It makes it feel good for a little bit. It's addictive. And so we have this idea that the food is a treat. Coupled with that are associations that, you go out for a treat. You go to your nana's and there's a treat. There's all this other sort of secondary language. Separate the word treat from food. There's a funny little story that I sometimes tell, which is about dogs. So, I often use dog analogies. When we are training a dog, we use the word treat, okay? Because dogs can't speak English. So we have to reward them with a treat of, whatever. As humans, we understand language. We don't need to be rewarded with a treat. We are not dogs. We can get our rewards from other things. So start using the word differently, particularly around your kids and even yourself. Because the thing is, when we say we need a treat or we want a treat, the treat is sort of a reward. And that's understandable if you've worked hard or if you've had a busy day or, you need some time out, you might want a reward, and we often use that word treat. So it'll be, I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to go and have a caramel double cream, something or other skinny latte and a big piece of cake. It's not actually treating yourself. You can treat yourself by going out for food, but the treat or the reward, if you like, is that somebody else is preparing it for you. Somebody else is caring for you. Somebody asks you, how's your day? Somebody comes and brings you the food and then they clear it away and you don't have to worry about it. That's the treat. The food can be your normal food. It doesn't have to be something that's sweet and sugary in order for it to be a treat. So I guess, you may choose to go along that line or not. It's up to you. But what I'm saying is that this is a tool that you can use to separate those words out. Separate comfort from food. Separate treat as a food. And that is one of the steps, again, to untangling our brain around emotional eating and what we call non-hungry eating. All right, lovelies, that's it for today. I'm still in my dressing gown. It's my non-clinical day, so I often have a little mini sleep in, although I didn't this morning because the cat decided to crawl over my head, but that's another story. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow in the group, 8 a.m. Bye for now. See you, darlings.